Hello, we're on. ON, Outreach News. And thank you for joining us for this edition of Outreach News. Outreach News is a media blog program that provides awareness of and shares the stories of countless individuals and agencies who provide help to those in need. And now your host, Linda Knox.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for listening to and downloading to this edition of Outreach News. I'm Linda Knox, your host, and I'm so excited to introduce to you our special guest for today, Miss Katherine Miracle. I'm going to read just a little bit of her bio. Katherine, I love that name, Katherine Miracle.
Thank you.
Now, you have a very impressive bio. It really reads like a book, and I'm going to read just a little bit of it today, and then, of course, we'll give the website towards the end of the interview for other people to log into and read the rest, but it's just fantastic, and here's a little bit of it. I'm going to read here. It says, Katherine Miracle is the founder and owner of Miracle Resources. Miracle Resources is a consulting, training, and educational resource for businesses and nonprofits. Miracle Resource consultants specialize in the area of advertising, branding, public relations, marketing, and revenue development. Miracle Resources consultants have served clients including the Cleveland Clinic, Northwest Mutual, the Red Cross, and Dunkin' Donuts. The Miracle consultants and Miracle Resource use their creativity and contacts to increase awareness and revenue for clients. Return on investment. Katherine Miracle and the consultants of Miracle Resources have raised over $28 million for 10 nonprofits, secured $4 million in free publicity for corporations and nonprofits, created advertising, marketing campaigns that increase revenue for more than 50 businesses, educated over 700 job seekers to market themselves and network to secure their dream career, educated over 500 fundraising professionals in high-tech and high-touch resources to increase revenue, motivated over 500 sales and marketing professionals to stop marketing and start motivating using the Miracle Resource Diamond 4-point marketing strategy that increases revenue and awareness. Wow, and as I said, that's just a little bit of your bio, and we're going to give you our listeners the website to read more. Very, very impressive. Katherine, without further ado, I just want to say thank you for coming, welcome, and thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you, Linda. I am honored to be a part of this broadcast. And my prayer today is to help everyone with resources and strategic alliances and motivation, because as we know, these are tough times. It's been tough for businesses and nonprofits. So I'm going to be giving a lot of different ideas and different creative solutions that our company has used to help increase awareness and revenue.
Oh, great. And that's great, because reaching out through compassionate caring, we're, of course, advocates for, outreach associations and groups that help people in need. And when I saw your bio and what you do as far as just helping not only for-profit but nonprofits, I thought, wow, this is just great. Before we're going to talk about the financing, but before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about motivation. I know you're a tremendous motivational speaker, and when I think of nonprofits, and I usually think of volunteers, and sometimes it's kind of hard to get people motivated and or just interested in doing volunteer work unless, well, at least I'm speaking for myself, I know I enjoy working out of my gift, talent, skills, and abilities. Do you find that to be true, or how do you get people motivated as far as volunteering for nonprofits?
Well, my background, I ran the March of Dimes. I was actually the executive director. I started as a division director for the March of Dimes, and I was promoted 8 times. I worked there 15 years, and I was in the top 10 of the March of Dimes 5 times. So I was the girl who made the Kool-Aid and drank it, because people say, who makes the Kool-Aid? Who's the one who gets people going? I loved it. It was a great career for me, but also extremely challenging. And I realized very early in that career that I could do all the work myself, or I could get volunteers. And literally, I would have worked 80 hours a week, but I was able to recruit volunteers because I look and I listen at what is people's motivation. There were some people that were volunteering because they had a child affected with a birth defect. There were other people because they had a niece or a nephew. There were people who were looking for companionship and making friendships. There were people who wanted to exchange business. There were people who just really loved being a part of what we did. And it was such a blessing. It's such a great organization. But to be a leader is to understand people's motivation and to use that and to work with people and listen. And as a motivational speaker, you know, one of the things that's been so great that I've been doing is working with leaders and just talking with them about the fact we have to take care of ourselves as a leader. We can't do everything ourselves. We have to ask for help. We have to form alliances. So for any nonprofit, it's really understanding the volunteers that you have and why they volunteer, and, you know, having the discussions with them about how to get other people motivated, and to understand that, you know, not everyone is there for the same reason, and that's okay. You know, there may be some people who volunteer that say, look, I can just give names. I can't come to every event. Then you have other people that can come to every event, but they don't know enough people to give names. That's okay. You can use both of them. And for nonprofits, I think this year and the last 5 years, one of the things I've been focusing on a lot is target markets. You know, if you're not having an event that engages seniors, if you're not having an event that engages families, young professionals, you're missing out, because a lot of people will think, okay, well, I'm going to have a gala because everyone else has a gala. Okay, but hang on, what about the senior audience? What about the families? What about young professionals? You know, what about the people who really, they don't want to come to an event, but they'll give a gift? You have to look at how your revenue comes in and get it from diverse audiences and target markets, because, and again, grants as well, making sure that you're getting that income. And it takes creativity, and it takes understanding your target market.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like how you said to look at your target market, because I think that we do tend to, you know, say, well, you know, somebody's having a banquet, and you know, a lot of people like to throw, and those are nice to throw the dinners and that, but you have to kind of think along the lines, you know, maybe a younger group of kids, especially if you're trying to reach younger people and get them involved, they may not be interested in going to a formal banquet or a dinner, that type of thing.
Exactly, and as a nonprofit, you can build your model around your mission. You know, when you think about missions, I had the opportunity recently to help a group called Duplication Cares, and this is a very rare syndrome, and to work with them and to really help them understand that healthcare professionals are very interested in this, and why not consider a press conference and an event that is just for healthcare professionals to wrap around and understand and also fundraise. And of course, they love that idea because they need to engage with the healthcare professional, but most nonprofits don't think deeper into who else is impacted by that disease or by that cause. Another one is vendors. You know, vendors who supply to the families who have children with this syndrome. Obviously, getting them involved is important. So it's knowing your audiences and listening to what they want in a fundraiser and in their marketing.
Yeah, and in kind of segueing into the funding part, when you mentioned, I know, vendors, and I'm thinking events, I don't know, do you work with, or how do you work with sponsors? Do you have any suggestions on how people can secure sponsors, or how does that work?
Yes, I love sponsorship. That was one of my favorite things, is selling sponsorship. I really enjoy it because what you're doing is you're building an alliance. And when you think about your nonprofit and think about the mission, who else is impacted? Who shares your target market? So when you look at strategic alliances, and I'm going to use a business example just so that way we all understand. We had the opportunity to work with a car dealer. And the car dealer and a Japanese steakhouse, we created an event called Sushi, Sake, and Service.